Pac-Man is back in the new Championship Edition for NES. 5 minutes to eat as much pellets as you want. But watch out. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde are on the lookout for you.
Thank you, 80s announcer. This was a great intro.
Wait, hold on. Who are you?
I'm Fami, you're part of my intro.
No, this is real. This is very real.
No, really, you're part of my intro. Try telling me what's your name.
I don't know.
Told ya.
What is happening? Please help me!
Pac-Man Championship Edition originally was an Xbox 360 game, conceived as the real sequel to the arcade Pac-Man, and it was promoted with a big campaign organized by Namco and Microsoft featuring an actual Pac-Man World Championship, just like the Nintendo one, but without a crappy movie to go with it. Nobutaka Nakajima from Bandai Namco noticed how classic Pac-Man wasn't that great to play on modern widescreen displays, and wanted to create a new remake which would capture the Pac-Man formula while working better on the then new HD consoles, without having half of the screen being a neutralized estate waiting for Google Heads. He became the project producer and, assisted by the director Tadashi Iguchi and the original Pac-Man designer Toru Iwatani, began to work on the game, and while working on it they were approached by Microsoft, which was looking for new games to promote their platform, Xbox Live Arcade. The development team behind it was unhappy with the previous attempts at modernizing the Pac-Man formula and decided to start from scratch, focusing on two concepts, speed and new mazes. The gameplay itself is kept as faithful as possible to the original game. We have Pac-Man being chased by the 4 ghosts, Inky, Blinky, Pinky and Clyde. I'm sorry Clyde, we only had budget for 3 rhymes, each one with different personalities and ways to attack the player. As in the original arcade game, Pac-Man has to complete the maze by eating all the pellets, and when hitting a power pellet is able to attack the ghosts. But here's where the changes start to begin. The maze is not vertical anymore but horizontal, a perfect 16:9 screen fit, and the transition to the new maze doesn't interrupt the gameplay. In this remake, the maze is divided in 2 halves. Eating every pellet on one side makes an item appear on the other side, and eating that item makes the pellets reappear on the other side. You can also eat multiple power pellets, extending the power-up time. This is all related to the new mazes part, but let's actually talk about what makes this game unique: the concept of speed. You now have a timer, and your goal is to get the highest score possible in that time period. This and the game speed is variable. The longer you stay alive, the faster the game gets. These small changes make for a great Pac-Man spiritual successor, called by some the first true sequel to Pac-Man since Mrs. Pac-Man. But now let's focus on the main theme of this video: Asparagus, the NES port. I discovered this port randomly because someone started streaming it while I was in a Discord call, and I thought this was an 8-bit style remake of Pac-Man, but no, this is in fact a real NES game. It was made by M2, the same guys behind the awesome Virtual Racing Switch port, and really a shit ton of great remakes, and it is present in the Namcot Collection released for Switch, PC, PS4 and Xbox One. The collection itself is basically a bunch of ROMs with an emulator attached to them, so it didn't take a lot for people to realize they could extract them from the game and actually use them whatever they pleased. And for people, I mean, I'm gonna show you how to do it right now, so let's get ready for the YouTube tutorial. So what you need is an actual copy of the game. You gotta buy this, please, okay? Don't pirate it, please, it's good. And this open source tool called Red Project, which I'm gonna leave in the description here. You download it here, so we have it here, and what we do now is actually copy these 2 files from the Namco Museum directory. So after we copy these files, we need to open the CMD, and then we need to write cd and copy the folder directory. This is going to actually put us into this directory, and then we need to write this, which I'm going to leave in the description. Okay, as you can see, it's done, and going into the folder here, we have our precious Pac-Man, and this is just a normal ROM, so we can just emulate it in any emulator and it's going to work. Okay, now back to my video. Today we'll be analyzing the game by itself. The game is running on the Namco 163 mapper. Wait, you might not know what a mapper is. To explain it simply, cartridges are not made equal and do not only contain data ROMs but sometimes entire chips to help the system render the game. The best example for this is always the Super FX chip used by Nintendo for Star Fox. Well, mappers basically give emulators a map of these chips and tell them how to emulate them. The Namco 163 chip used here by the ROM is an actual chip that was used by Namco back in the 90s to give the NES, well, not the NES but the Famicom, the Japanese equivalent of it, 8 additional sound channels. These channels were disabled for the NES because, I don't know, Nintendo didn't want us to have nice things, I guess, but you can re-enable them with some soldering. In this case, this lets the game's sounds and OST reproduce the arcade ones with a higher fidelity than just with the NES CPU. I mean, this was Pac-Man on the NES, and yeah, it's pretty bad. This old demake is a pretty much spot-on port of the Xbox 360 original, including a normal and an extra mode which makes the game faster and more difficult, a replay feature and a sound test feature. It even features different palettes for Pac-Man and the Ghosts, and achievements. Yeah, NES achievements, we are evolving as a human race. And there's a reason why I mentioned the N163 chip before. It makes the sound department of this game simply outstanding. While officially the game has been developed by M2, the website Ars Technica actually discovered that the origins of this port go back to 2008, when someone named Coke774 posted a video of a game identical to this one but with different music. Also, 74 in Japanese can be read as Nanashi, which means anonymous, so we can suspect this person probably just wanted to stay anonymous anyway. So this is a great port, but I know what some of you want to ask. Hey Fami, you talk about repros and shit like that, so does this run on actual hardware? The answer is yes, provided you either have a repro or a flash card that supports the game. Repros are a bit tricky since you actually need to make one with a Namco 163 chip or another chip emulating it, and there are some repros ready-made on the internet for sale on websites I'm not going to mention for legal reasons, which work fine, but they're missing the special chips, so they sound like this. If you haven't ever drive N8 or N8 Pro by Crix, the Namco 163 chip is fully emulated and that lets you play the game with full sound. I would love to show it to you, but I currently don't own one. Hey Crix, hey, you know you could send me one, I'd make videos on it, winky face. But yeah, you know me, I'm not going to stop the real NES hardware. The NES is emulated by everything, even a grandmother can probably run NES ROMs by knitting fast enough, and this means that we can technically emulate this on, well, a lot of consoles that emulate NES. I have personally tested this with GBA using Pocket NES, and it works great. It has no Namco sound channels, but is fully playable, and this is a win in my book. And my DSi, there are some parts of the original Xbox 360 version for Android, PSP, and Mimo 5, but having a NES version, due to how easily a NES is emulated right now, means we can run this even on calculators if we want to. And yeah, this is it. I wanted to make this video since this game has been my obsession for the last few days, and I would definitely recommend it to you all. Pac-Man is an arcade classic, Championship is a great sequel, and the remake is just so good! Oh yeah, this video was good, I can go play some more Pac-Man now.
Wait, I wasn't real?
No, you were just part of the video, like the commercial guy at the beginning.
Wait, what? How does this work?
Sorry, I have to go.